We have Mr. Ricardo Torres, the Navigator. We have
Thank
Jared
you.
Whitney, and we have Kristen Courrier Whitney.
Is that me?
I believe so.
I do too.
Is that? Did I get it right?
No, you did.
I passed.
You have
Yay!
the middle name and everything.
Woo!
That's a maiden and a married. Maiden
Yeah,
and married.
I've got a mind like a steel trap.
You thought. You're like,
Don't tell me the capital of Djibouti is Djibouti. Jingle, jingle. So, anyway, don't get all nervous. We're on camera. It's going out there to the world. Everybody can see us right now. Hi, people. We're going out there to YouTube, to Bookface. I don't know. Did I put this on Restream? Maybe I didn't even set up a stream on this yet.
Yeah, I don't think you have.
But I think it goes on it anyways. If not, we're going to go to it right now. And you guys just, we keep having a conversation. It's been pretty funny all night, so there's no reason to, don't mess with it. It ain't broke. It ain't broke. Don't fix it. Where were we at? You were talking about staying here for 3 months and fixing my yard. So let's continue with that. What are we going to do here? Yeah.
You have a lot of potential. In your flower beds.
Well, I know. I'm going to pour concrete there. Oh boy, that was a look. Could you scoot a little closer to the camera so we can see that look? I mean, I really want to. What? You got something on your fingers?
No, like the fact that you would concretize your front
But then I'll put
lawn.
planters on it. Then I can bring them in the
You
wintertime.
have a trellis.
It's an upside down rake.
Out there.
It's an upside down rake.
Like
What?
greenery.
I don't want it next to the house. Because it grows up and then it gets in the soffit and
Cats
then
bring it in.
But what?
They show you favors.
Yeah, and my
You're
cat
a
brings me
double
plenty.
cat.
Yeah, he brings me
Your
plenty of
double
favors. Do
cat
you know how many
brings
times I've
you
caught him eating a head out of a rabbit? And
mouse.
do you want to hear a funny
And,
story?
like,
we were there. When
I feel like you
Last
should
time we were here,
need
it
a
happened.
little more
Yeah.
like
Yeah,
integration.
he
into
goes in
the
streaks. He'll
house.
like have 3 nights in a row where he'll just fucking go out and he just murders. One night, okay, so this was a few years back, right? Jax was still in grade school, and I would get up at 6:30 in the morning and making pancakes. And so before my alarm goes off, at that point, I would wake up before it. I'd just shut it off because I'd always wake up before. I wake up and I hear this screech, this screeching sound, and I'm like, "What in the fuck is that?" So I get up out of and I'm standing there in my boxer shorts, and I'm in the hallway, and Jax is still in bed, and I can hear it. It's coming like from his room, and I said, "What is that noise?" He's like, "I don't know, Dad." And he gets up and comes out. So here's both of us standing there at the end of the hallway in our boxer shorts at 6:25 or whatever in the morning. And I'm like, what the hell? Where's it coming from? And I look in his room and I go in there and see. And he goes in there and he comes running back out and he goes, "Dad, it's a fucking bird." And he covers his mouth up, And I'm like, that's okay. And so the bird comes flying down the hall. The cat's chasing it. The bird flies in the kitchen and it perches up on one of the upper cabinets. And so I'm sitting there and I'm like, okay. So I go to the hall closet, linen closet. I grab a towel. I'm like, here's the deal, Jax. I said, you're going to grab the cat. I'm going to throw the cat out the back door. I'm going to throw the towel over the bird, take the bird out the front door. And right when I'm sneaking up on the bird, the cat runs, jumps up on the counter, jumps up and grabs the bird in his mouth and takes off across the kitchen floor, hauling ass, like the Flintstones where his feet are spinning on the linoleum. He slides into the wall, and I throw the towel over him and the bird, and I reach in there and somehow manage to get the bird out of the cat's mouth with the towel still on the cat. And I tell Jackson, like, take the cat out the back. So he takes the cat out the back. I take the bird out. The bird's so traumatized, I try to let it go, and it's just all, it's got like sea legs and shit. And I'm sitting there going, come on, doing this to him. And all of a sudden I look up and here comes Leo fucking coming around the corner of the fucking house and just comes flying up and just, just chomps that thing and killed it instantly and takes off with it. And I was just like, you son of a bitch. Everybody feels sorry for that cat. And I don't feel sorry for him because he's a murderous little son of a bitch. I watched him fight an owl one night. The owl didn't take him away. He's got scars on both sides.
A story from you.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
I'm not joking.
What story?
Sit back. Well, start with, I would say, I'd say start with your reset. I mean,
Yeah.
that's. I mean, it's pretty.
It's just insane.
It's an incredible story, man.
So, yeah.
You got time? You're staying here, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, dig in.
Dude,
So, ladies and gentlemen, for those of you that have never heard Ricardo's story about what he's been through to end up here in Cody, Wyoming,
Yeah.
all the way from Mexico City. I guess we'll just. Where do you want to start, Ricardo?
Sure. I mean,
your whole thing starts off. You end up in
in
Miami, right?
I studied always in a grade school in Mexico. It was like Instituto Cumbres, which is like super well known and everything. And instead of going with all my colleagues at the time to a university in Mexico, I was like, you know what? I'm gonna go to the U.S. And I picked Miami just out of nowhere. I was like, yeah, looks like a good school. I sent in my application like in February of that year. And in 3 days it gets returned and I'm accepted. It's like, what? I just thought that it was like, no way. It's like, but they wanted me super bad and I was like, all right, I'll go to Miami. I spent there 3 years. It was great. Good party school. I mean,
I was gonna say no parties, right?
no, that's all we did. It's like,
Miami.
yeah,
Yeah, Miami.
Yeah.
You're a good guy. You kept it clean.
Miami.
yeah. I joined a fraternity and it's like, anyway.
I
So
knew I was gonna like you.
yeah. So I had to take a year of break, and then all out of nowhere, my dad's boss, he's a Mormon. He comes to me and he's like, hey, have you thought about switching schools to BYU? And I was like, where on earth is BYU?
What's a BYU?
Yeah, I was like, what is that?
That's a legitimate question.
That's
Yeah.
too
Legitimate
funny.
question.
Oh my gosh, that's funny.
And he's like, it's in Provo, Utah. And I was like, what's in Utah? It's like, coming from Miami, it's like, what's out there? Like, he's like, oh no, it's a great accounting school. You're going to love it. I studied finance in Miami. So I was like, all right, yeah. So I'm ready to go to Miami. And then it's like, he calls me and he's like, just switch to BYU. I was like, okay, I'll give it a shot. So I end up flying to Provo, Utah.
Mikey's just shaking his head.
Yeah.
These days.
You weren't raised Mormon.
No.
We were both raised
I will
Mormon.
tell you, I have a different perspective.
Yeah.
You know what? I love Mormon people,
I
do.
We love everybody, Mikey.
but I painted I've painted almost every Mormon church in this whole Bighorn Basin.
Yeah.
I mean, and you see it when I show up with my crew to paint a Mormon church.
They will pay you every time.
They do. They always pay. They pay. They're great people. But it's funny when my crew goes in because most of my crew looks just like me, and they don't
Yes,
they don't
hallelujah.
they don't believe what we're there to do for the most part. They're like, "Who are you guys?" You know. And I'm like, I'm the paint contractor. You know, and they're looking at me like, because there's always somebody in a Mormon church, dude.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. There's always somebody in there.
Always somebody.
Yeah.
And there you find sometimes you find weird things in there too.
For a Subaru, I traded drywall work for a Subaru.
Did you?
And a Mormon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who got the better end of that deal?
Aren't they doing a Mormon?
I don't
church?
know. Actually, I could
Temple?
have done the drywall work, but it was a fair exchange. It really was. Yeah, it was $5,000 Subaru for a fair amount of drywall. It was fair. I could have done it. But
You
it
didn't
was
do it?
better. No, it was
Oh,
better
I thought
to
you
get
said you
on
did
the
do
car.
it.
No. I said, I will give you
I thought
this
that was the
car.
story.
I
Yeah.
will give you this car in exchange for this amount of drywall work.
Oh, you were trying to trade the car.
Yeah.
I thought you were. I thought you were going to do the drywall.
No. I had beat.
That's the way I got it.
I had already had the Subaru.
Okay.
And I had done enough drywall.
Yeah.
And I said,
Like hanging, mud, and
I
taping.
will exchange you. I will give you this vehicle if you finish the rest of this drywall.
Yeah.
And it was actually a fair exchange.
Yeah, but it didn't happen.
No, it did.
Oh, it did happen.
Oh, it did. It was spot on.
So you got rid of the Subaru and you got the drywall.
Yeah.
Where's the drywall now?
Penny Lane?
It's on Penny Lane.
Yes, Penny Lane.
Penny Lane?
Penny Lane.
Really?
Yeah.
Is that next to Strawberry Fields?
Kind of. It was more like strawberry and raspberry and blackberry and yes, lots of lanes of berries.
So
Anyway,
to
let's
exchange
finish your story.
a Subaru.
Yeah, we're kind of getting off.
Yeah.
So okay, yeah, sorry,
We still
Ricardo.
have a nice story going on here.
So he's okay.
Penny Lane,
So-
crackhead.
I'm not joking. That was I bought a house on Penny Lane for a rock wall with like friggin' millipedes. I bought
bought a house
for
with millipedes?
I love you. I love you.
I know. I love you too. It really was a rock wall, millipedes, Penny Lane, and
And
drywall
drywall.
in exchange
For a Subaru.
berries.
For berries? I thought it was
Subarus.
berries, Subarus, and millipedes. All right, Ricardo, where were we?
Peppers.
Peppers? Peppers too. Okay.
So yeah, anyways, I moved into BYU and I told the cab driver, I was like, you know where a Best Buy is? He looks at me like, why? It's like 9:30 p.m. and I was like, I need to get myself a freaking TV. Because I was like, I arrived there in the middle of winter. So there was no one there except for like the TA or whatever and me. And that was it.
So you go in the dorms during winter vacation?
Yeah.
Oh God. That had to have been fun. Did you
Oh no,
is
I
that
got
when you got
myself
converted? Did you get converted?
No, I got myself a TV. and I watched Saw 2.
Made yourself an escape room?
And it's funny because the TA comes in and he's like, what movie are you watching? I'm like, Saw. And he's like, his jaw just dropped. He's like, dude, you can't watch that in here. And I'm like, why not?
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
my.
That's weird.
He's like, that's so against the rules. And I'm like, why?
Rated R?
Yeah. It's like
But
rated
you're
R
old
movie.
enough. Rated R is 17, right?
No, but remember, they're Mormons, so...
Well, I know how that goes because I transferred to a Nazarene school.
Oh.
And you should have seen me. I got fined. So many times within the first 10 minutes I was in that dorm. I said, "Fuck, I don't know how."
Nazarenes are actually worse than Mormons.
They are. They are. They don't dance. They don't dance. Dude, I'd gone from a dude. I'd gone
What
from
you
a.
just said, this is like...
It's not a joke.
They are
Nazarenes
very
are
down the
worse.
line. They don't dance.
Nazarenes are worse
They don't watch movies.
They
They don't watch
super
movies.
stringent.
Like I moved in this
Super
dorm,
stringent.
right? And I go in this dorm. I went there in the summertime. I got recruited to play baseball. And so I show up, that's got a beautiful baseball field, nice campus, coach is cool. I'm like, sure, I'll sign the thing. I'm like, I'm going to go to a smaller school, get my grades up because I had a shitty freshman year at state school. I got like a 1.2 GPA. I was, and so I go in this dorm.
Blowjobs.
I go in this dorm and I'm like, and so,
I said blowjobs.
well, there was a few, well, maybe.
Blowjobs
But they would find you.
He said he had a 1.2. I'm just guessing what he had on board to make a 1.2. It looks like blowjobs and marijuana. He had
there was some of that. And there was some other things too. But so I show up at this. Yeah, I mean, so I know what you're saying because I show up there and I walk in and of course the first thing I do is I go in my room and I hook up my stereo. That's obviously the most important, and I start blasting Pantera.
And people just look at you like...
And the dude
what
the RA dude comes in and he's all starch shirt and he's like, he's not, excuse me. And I'm like, what the fuck do you want? And he's like, that's a $5 fine. And he starts writing it down. And I said, what the fuck are you talking about? And that's another. And so before I know it, I've got $40 worth of fines racked up and I haven't even moved in. So I know what you're saying. So anyway, I'll let you keep going with your story. But yeah. And then after you get done with yours, maybe I'll go back and tell some stories about the Nazarene school. Because I got a hilarious one that I've written that's out there on Medium, and I think I got it on Substack too.
Yeah.
It's called the LSD Missionary.
Oh,
Not LDS. LSD. I'll tell you this story after Ricardo gets done.
So anyways, I'll just skip ahead and I met my wife. We got married. I converted to Mormonism at the time, just
So hold on. Did you get?
I was a
baptized?
Catholic, so
Did you get baptized?
yeah. But I never really had faith in it or anything. It's like I always had like,
Then why'd you do it?
because I was there. It's like you look around and everyone is Mormon.
They give you groceries.
Yeah.
Like, seriously.
Yeah.
They give you groceries
Yeah.
because you get baptized. Like,
It's a serious like.
Have you ever seen? You should see the baptismal room at the church here.
Yeah. No, if you need it, they help you with everything. It's crazy.
Do they have that? Is the baptism room the same in all the churches?
I
Yeah.
have to tell you,
Yeah, it's the same.
I had people that showed up to rebuild
this
the
is
house.
hilarious. No,
like-
Mormons are great. Don't get
We shut the door.
That-
I would
We shut-
never,
It's just there's a lot of going. If you just push it all the way shut. Just, thank you. it just helps the sound. Because otherwise,
Anyway,
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I didn't mean to.
you didn't mean did nothing.
I didn't mean to tell you what to do. My goodness, I'm very sorry. It just echoes down the hallway, and you know.
So yeah, Mormons are
Yeah.
an intriguing population. Of yeah.
They're
Yeah.
good people.
And they will. It's a hard wash. It's a hard wash.
But anyways,
I don't know what to tell you on the basis of like belief structures and discriminations and manipulations, and ultimately they will indoctrinate anyone
Oh,
that they can.
I
And
think
it's
that's-
not any different than every other
yeah.
body politic that you interact with.
Sure.
But I think that right now they have a big issue because it's like the new generation is like finding out about all the bullshit that they pulled off in the past, and they have no way of stopping that. So it's like, okay,
Yeah.
how do we go forth?
Like,
It's like, yeah, because there's way more people leaving the church than there are joining. So it's like,
What, really? I thought Mormonism was like the most.
no,
Really?
yeah, it's crazy.
So, Mormons for a really long time did
They had the most like.
it had to do with the buying in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, they hit the 14% of the population, and then ever since it's like going down.
Now, did you ever hear anything about?
Your story, so you said
Yeah, we still got to get back to your story. So you're. We'll come back. Yeah, we'll come back to the we'll come back to the religion stuff here later.
Yeah.
So Ricardo leaves. You graduate from BYU.
Yeah.
You end up in Denver, right?
Yeah, I'm married to my wife. We moved to Cody for like 6 months, and then I get a job in Denver doing XBRL, which is I love doing XBRL. I don't know if you've ever heard of it.
I'm not.
It's like you grab financial statements and convert them into another language, into XBRL, and then
That sounds awesome.
yeah.
This is computer stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
This is computer stuff.
To be able to do that sounds awesome.
Yeah, and I love that job, except that the company I used to work for closed its stores in Denver, and then I got hired by another company in Maryland. And they paid for me to move to Maryland across the country. They paid everything, so. Because I was good at doing what I did, so.
But wait, hold on. Why the fuck are you in Cody?
Oh, no, I was just in Cody looking for a job in Denver.
His
so,
wife's from here.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, my wife is from here, so.
gotcha.
So she was like, well.
Don't get me wrong. I mean, I love Cody. We all have. Cody's okay.
Yeah.
I guess.
Whatever. You drove through it.
I know.
Okay.
All right, so let's not get we're
Hold
on. We're getting sidetracked.
We were driving like right through, and I'm like, God damn it, Wyoming is gorgeous. Fucking love Wyoming.
Yeah.
I do too. I would really rather not. I mean, I don't. There's no place else I'd rather be right now. I can tell you that for sure. But anyway, let's get back on track. So
Oh, I thought you finished. I'm sorry.
Oh, no. And
then we can go off on these tangents.
so anyways, I'm working on XBRL. I become a leader of my team. So I have like 5 people working for me, and then all out of nowhere they find my right eye turns red out of nowhere. And I'm like, what happened? Yeah, my right eye turns like bright red, and I'm like, all right, I'm gonna see an eye doctor. And
Was that like when you see somebody that gets in a fight, right? Like
yeah,
you get socked in the head.
Like something popped out.
yeah. So I go see the eye doctor, and he's like, "You're fine. Your eye is fine. You need to go see this
Neurologist. or
neurologist."
something?
Yeah, and I'm like, "Why do I have to see a neurologist?" And he's like, "Just go see him, and then just go see him. Trust me." So I make an appointment with him. I go see him, and he's like, "You have an arteriovenous malformation," and I'm like, "What is that?"
What?
And for those of you who don't know, that Kristen she's a nurse, and so
Yeah,
she's familiar with.
You've got an exponentially higher level of stroke.
yeah. No. It's like crazy. So I'm like, "Wait, what is that?" And he's like, "Well, regularly those pop on people when they're like 12, 13, 14 years old. It's a miracle that yours is still on when you're 31
Wow.
years old."
Brother, wow.
And from then on, it was just like super quick because I was like, "Well, how bad is it?" And he's like, "Well, there's level 1 through 5. If there was a level 6, yours would be a level 6." Because it was so big.
So what have they done? What have they done?
So anyways,
Coil? Like,
yeah.
okay.
And it was in the deepest part of the brain. So it's like, oh my gosh.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh my lord.
So I was like, "Well, tell me what are my chances of surviving this?" And he's like, "Less than 5%.
Yeah. Sounds about right.
Yeah.
And
That's intense.
See?
yeah, my wife wanted me to perform that operation here with her cousin in Denver. But I was like, "You know what? I trust the doctors over in Washington, D.C." And she's like, "If you follow through with the procedure in Washington, D.C., that's it. We're getting divorced." And I was like, "I don't care. I trust those doctors." And I did. Except that the original plan was to perform 6 procedures and just remove it little by little throughout the year. And I went in for the first operation December 16th of 2013. And it went great. And they closed me up, and I go out and I'm talking to my wife. I mean, this is what I remember. And I'm like, "So how did it go?" And she's like, "Okay." And then all I hear is like the nurses coming in, and they had to cart me in. And I didn't even know what was going on. And I was gone for like the next month and a half. Because the ABM ruptured.
Yeah.
And I don't have any memories. And by the time I woke up, half of my body was paralyzed. The right side of my body was paralyzed. I could not use my hand. I couldn't move. I couldn't walk. So I had to learn how to do everything with my left side. I used to speak Spanish, Italian, and English. I don't remember.
The crazy thing, though, is what you told me is that when you were, because they put you in an induced coma,
Yeah.
right? And so they asked Ricardo's wife, "What language do you want him to speak?"
Yeah.
When he comes, when he comes back.
Sharing your story.
No problem.
And so she said English, and
Yeah.
so. But what's crazy is you come out of this and you still have the
Yeah.
you
The
know, you still
Mexican
got the
accent.
inflection,
Yeah.
the Hispanic inflection in your voice.
Yeah.
But you come out of it, just
Yeah.
speaking English, which is just, I mean, it's just a wild thing about. I mean, the human brain is
Brain,
crazy.
I was thinking
No.
like-
But the crazy thing is, like, after I woke up, it's like the doctors were like, "We don't know how bad you are. We don't know how long it will take you to make a full recovery. We don't even know how big of a recovery you're gonna make." They were like, "Name animals. You got a minute. Name as many animals as you can." I could name 1 or 2.
You didn't even know who your wife was, right?
No, I didn't know. And here's the crazy thing. Each time I fell asleep, everything that I had learned could disappear.
Yeah, tell him
Yeah.
about that. Yeah, so Ricardo said what he had to do.
You're making me cry too.
So he said, "What? Tell him about what you had to do at night. Like you would have
Yeah,
to put notes in your phone and then wake up a half
Once
an hour
I got
early."
an iPhone, I'd make notes on it, and then the next morning when I woke up, I'd listen to it, so I could actually remember what was going on in my life.
So you didn't know your kids?
No, I didn't know that I had Andrew. So it's like each morning it's like the same deal. It's like, wait,
It's like 50 first dates.
yeah.
Reset every day.
Yeah.
And it took 3 years for me to actually start.
3 fucking years.
Yeah.
I was about to ask. I'm sorry. But 3 years.
Yeah.
Like for you to.
For me to actually start making new memories and start remembering everything again. And
You should be a movie.
That's what I'm saying, man. See, and when I met Ricardo, that's what I told him. I said, dude, you got a story to tell.
You have a huge story to tell.
Yeah.
A wonderful story to tell.
And that's what I saw in him when I met. What did I tell you?
Yeah.
I told you that night that I wanted you to come over here. I said, you got a story to tell, and I want to hear it.
Wonderful soul.
thank you.
But I mean, and you guys just had another. You just had another child. You just had Elena.
We have Javier and
Yeah.
Elena. So yeah.
Yeah, his wife just had another child, little girl.
Yeah.
They're
Yeah.
having other kids.
Well, we have Andrew. He's 9, and then we decided not to have any more babies until I recovered enough. And then we have Javier, who's 4.5, and then we have Elena, who's gonna turn a year old in June. So
You're 38.
That's crazy. It's
I'm
close to.
39.
It's hard to believe she was born almost a year ago.
Thank
It doesn't
you
seem
for
that long.
sharing this story.
No
dude.
problem.
But it gets you. I mean, it's even crazier. Because, I mean, talk about like you going back to work.
Yeah.
Like, so you go back to this job that's highly specialized.
Yeah.
Like, you're in a financial.
XBRL.
You're running a financial
Yeah.
team, and you've lost.
Yeah, and I don't have memories, and I tell my team
You're
like,
still able to bounce back.
So he goes in, and these people are like waiting for him,
Yeah.
and they're like happy, and he doesn't even know. You don't
I
even know
don't
they're
even know them. Yeah, it's
You're
like
you know,
You are a movie.
oh, I know. I told you it was a crazy story, man.
We got to put this one together, Mike.
No, I know. It's a crazy story. Every time I tell
Yeah.
it to people, I mean, and I knew that there was something, from the time I met Ricardo. I was like, dude, you have something
Please
going.
finish, like, once you went back to work, like, you had to go, like,
oh yeah, every time I went back to work, it's every morning I used to read all my notes, and it's like, by the time I get there, it's like my team is like, all right, so what do we work on? And I was like, I don't know, because
you don't know.
no,
You
I didn't
don't
know.
that you're being honest.
Yeah, so then the job unfortunately had to let me go halfway through 2016, I mean. And because I was so good at doing XBRL that they decided to wait for me to heal, that
It didn't happen.
it just didn't happen.
And would you remember any of that stuff now? None of it.
A little
How do
bit.
you
Yeah.
know? Oh, this is crazy.
So yeah, I told you. I mean, this guy has got it's a wild story, and it's really an amazing story. I think because, the one thing that strikes me is that and the thing that is cool about this story is that Ricardo's wife stuck with him through all this.
Yeah.
She stuck with him through times when he woke up in the morning and didn't know who she was.
I didn't know who she was.
I mean, it took him 3 years to recover, and you want to talk about true love, dude? That's
Yeah.
love right there. You know what I'm saying? Because I mean, when you wake up next to somebody and you have to go through that every day, I mean, so
Yeah.
you have got a really amazing partner. You know what I'm saying? You've got
Yeah.
an amazing wife because she obviously really loves. I mean, that was when you told me the story the first time. I was like, that's what hit me. I was like, damn. I was like, dude, because I've not been fortunate enough to
Yeah.
meet many females like that. I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, I've always just been a fucking paycheck, and so I mean, for her to, and I
Yeah.
mean, she worked while you,
Oh, yeah.
and so I mean,
No,
that's
when we lived in Maryland, she took 3 different jobs just so we could be able to pay.
I love
So-
this story.
so yeah. I mean, how cool is that?
Yeah, she got 3 jobs, and she was working from like 8 a.m. till 8 p.m. just so we could be able to pay the bills because I wasn't making enough money to actually survive.
And he's waking up and staying at home with a child that he doesn't remember
Yeah.
every morning and having to remind himself,
You're a miracle, my man.
I mean, so yeah, it's a crazy story, man. I mean, it's like, it's just, it's really an awesome story.
So did we get to the end? Is there still...
I mean, now,
Well, how did you end up back here?
well, we were just driving back to Denver because we decided that's where we were going to live. And then we drove and looked at the Mount Rushmore. And from there, I was like, well, why don't we stop by your parents' house for like 3 or 4 days? and that was like 6 years ago.
And ever since you're fine. You have
Well, no. Once we moved in here, my mind wasn't still there, so I still had to go to therapy for another year.
But how about now?
Now I'm good. Yeah.
Dude,
The crazy thing about Ricardo too is like I'm really good at making references to like I always make references to movies and stuff. He picks up on all of it.
Perfect.
Like he got a reset at 31 years old.
Yeah.
Got a complete like I mean it's like me wiping the hard drive on my computer.
How old are you?
I'm 39.
But I can make references to Billy Madison, and I mean, every time I make a reference around Ricardo, like he picks up on it and knows what I'm talking about. So it's crazy that I mean, you picked up so much information in such a short period of time. There's people that are, I mean, people my age that I make references to movies and songs, and they just look at me like I'm like I mean, like from get go when we started hanging out, like I'd make references, and he knew. I mean, he was just like right away, just knew what I was talking about, and I was just like, "Damn, dude, how'd you?" I mean, the mind is a crazy thing, man. The brain is just a crazy. I mean, the mind, the brain, it's. I mean,
really super crazy.
But I mean, the crazy thing is like when I was in Maryland and I used to go to the rehab hospital, I was there for like 3 months, and I woke up every day not knowing who I was.
That's fucking weird.
Yeah.
Can you imagine?
No,
I wasn't able.
I just did.
I wasn't able to walk because half my body was paralyzed.
Oh my God, you have such a wonderful story.
But and here's another thing that I've
glad
got.
that you're doing well, man.
Yeah. No. And see, it's funny that I learned how to use the left side of my body, but now I use the right because that's where I learned how to write and everything. So it's like.
Anybody listening to this, let's write a story.
And he's told
Spielberg.
well, he's told the story before. Here's here's the cool thing that there's so many cool facets to this story. And Ricardo and I have talked to it. We've talked about this a lot more than obviously we here. I mean, we've had in-depth conversations, but what Ricardo talked to me about as well was his perception of money and possessions.
Changed.
And how all those things that he was chasing in life that he thought was important all of a sudden went away. So he doesn't. So I mean, I met the man. This is a guy here that was making I don't know how much money, and he works and he's working at Walmart now and is happy and he's fine with it. And because through this whole experience. From what I take from you, Ricardo, and tell me if I'm wrong, but from what you've said to me is that through this experience, you realized kind of what was actually important.
Yeah.
Like what really meant something in life.
Your story.
Yeah, no, but see, when I moved back to Cody, I tried working at Wells Fargo, and I hated that job in the bank just because I was in finance, and that's what I went to school for. And I tried working at Wells Fargo, and I fucking hated it.
Tell your fucking story. I want this story to be fucking I'm not joking, Mike.
No, I know. We've talked about it, and I mean, I've told him that.
Wonderful story.
Thank you.
It's unlike anything I've ever heard.
Thank you.
I mean, and I knew when I met Ricardo, I had this feeling. I was like, dude, and that's like I said, that's what I thought. I said, dude, you have a story to tell, and I want to hear it. I just had this feeling that he had something going on that needed to be told, and
good on you, Mike, to recognize that.
But I mean, so he came over and he told me the story. But like he was nervous about, he didn't want to come on the podcast because, like everybody, they get nervous about talking on the microphone. They get nervous about being on camera.
I was like, "Wait, are you recording yet?" And he's like, "Yeah, just go ahead." And I was like, "Oh my gosh!"
But he picked it up. And he's got a voice for it. I mean, and I mean, after I think it was a couple times, I said, "Well, you need to come back." So he came back and I pitched it to him. I said, "Hey, Ricardo, do you want to be my co-host?" I said, "I'd love to have you be the co-host." And so from, he's been through a lot of stuff with COVID, and then, he went back to Mexico City.
Yeah.
His mother came back. She got COVID. The rest of your family got COVID. You've had COVID. I've had it twice. And so we kind of, Wait.
I have been full out deep in COVID for 2 years.
And she hasn't got it.
And I have not come back with a positive test.
Good for you.
I am done.
Amen.
I work. And
She's a nurse.
Yeah, I know.
I don't know how.
Are you vaccinated?
Yeah.
You had to get vaccinated,
I
huh?
am pro-vaccine, I have to tell you.
Yeah, no, I am pro-vaccine, 100%.
It doesn't matter what vaccine you're talking about. Once upon a time.
She's all taken.
Okay, once upon a time, they just cut open a spot in you and just put like cow pus
Yeah.
in your flesh and said
Deal with it.
you're covered.
Yeah.
So cowpox and smallpox and pustules being shared.
When we were kids,
And-
they had
and
chickenpox
now-
parties.
Yeah, yeah,
You remember that, Jared?
Yes.
The parents would have chickenpox
Oh,
parties.
yeah.
Like one kid would have a pox.
And then everybody go over and have a
Yeah.
sleepover, and then everybody get.
Yeah, that
I-
was my fifth
Yeah.
grade.
Yeah.
Or
Yeah.
my
I think fourth or fifth grade.
Yeah, I think-
5-year-old.
I think I got it in third grade.
Yeah, I got it in third grade. Yep.
Yeah.
I remember I having it on my
It was done
feet,
and
my
done.
feet,
You
on the
had
bottom of my
chickenpox
feet,
in your feet?
on my bottom of my feet. It was so
Down
fucking
your
painful.
throat?
Yeah.
What the fuck?
Oh yeah. I had it so bad.
The sores that,
You need to
that-
simmer down. You need
I
to-
had it so bad. I remember just laying in a bathtub full of calamine lotion, just like.
That sounds
your
like
eyeballs.
Not a bad
It
time.
was bad. It was bad.
Did you ever see the South Park? The South Park did an
Yeah.
episode.
Oh,
with
yeah.
the
Oh,
chi-
yeah.
yeah,
Where
chicken
they
pox.
got herpes, like
South Park herpes
yeah.
and chickenpox.
How did that fucking episode end?
Oh, God.
They had a hooker. And
Yeah.
They took like a.
God.
Never mind.
South Park
South Park.
hookers and chickenpox.
And all the-
Shingles.
And all the
Wait-
parents,
wait till
and
you're
all the
60.
parents got
Shingles is a messed up deal. My dad
Yeah.
had that. And it, I mean, he's
It's
like me. He
chickenpox.
wasn't,
It's
you know,
chickenpox
he couldn't.
45 years later.
Right. His was so bad that by the time he finally went, he wouldn't go to the doctor. He's like me. I mean, unless there's a bone sticking out, I'm not going. And he went in there, and the doctor was like, "You are an idiot." You know. I mean, it was so bad that I mean, it you know, I mean, he let it get to the point.
Where's your dad at now?
He's in Buffalo, Wyoming.
Oh.
Yeah, he's
I love
down.
your dad.
Yeah, he's
Not dead yet.
no, he's fine. We haven't talked in a little while, but we do talk quite a bit, and I mean, he's
Your
you
dad
know.
was a stud, dude.
Oh, he still is, man. He works at Fort Kearney, over by Buffalo, between Buffalo and Sheridan.
Good for
It's like
him.
that historical site. So he does a lot of work over there, and I think he does like some tours. He was always a history buff, so he likes it. You know, he worked in the damn oil field for 30 some fucking years. You know, I mean, talk about
Yeah.
I mean, you know, that's the thing. You work these jobs that just fucking suck. You know, I mean, some people do what they love. You know, like I imagine that you love what you do, or no,
Most part.
In weird ways.
in weird
Yeah.
ways.
In really weird ways. I have to tell
That-
you, I take abuses that are beyond.
From patients or from staff.
Sit over here.
It's abstract.
Yeah,
The level
We can
of
move that mic,
abuses
too.
That you can have in nursing at the same time. I love it in a really
No, but-
weird way.
Let me say that my wife studies speech pathology because of me. So she's getting her diploma in a week
I
on Friday.
love you.
Yeah, I told you.
You're like inspiration.
We're gonna fly to LA this Sunday, and then we won't get back for a week. So
you know what, Ricardo? I'm gonna have to set you up with my friends out there in LA because I really. K-Pook, if you're out there listening to this, Pook, you got to take Ricardo out when he comes out there.
You have friends.
Yeah, imagine that. They're squirrels. No, but Pook, if you're listening to this, you got to take Ricardo, introduce him to Unc G, take him down to Blondie's, take him to the shortstop.
Uh-oh. Hold on. He's married.
yeah,
Well, these are just places, just bars,
Yeah.
Oh, it
just
didn't
just
sound
places
like
we
it.
hang out.
It sounded
No,
like a bunch
K-Pook,
of, like-
K-Pook's Uncle Gary, he owns a bar in Long Beach called Blondie's, and then we always go to this place called the Shortstop, which is right up the street from Dodger Stadium when we
sounds
go
like strip clubs, Mike.
to. Well, and Pook's a DJ and stuff out there, so I mean, you know, no, they call him he's the mayor of L.A. He knows. You go out with Pook, man, you know everybody.
Oh, I've never met him, but I know who you're referring to.
Yeah, my buddy Joshua. Yeah, he's a great dude. And then if you're going to Vegas, you're going to go to Vegas
Yeah,
too, right?
we're gonna
Oh
go to
God.
Vegas.
Okay, I'm not going to hook you up with any of my Vegas people.
Damn, you guys.
That'd be
No. So we're gonna go to my wife's graduation, which is we leave here Sunday.
Okay.
Then we'll go to her graduation Monday. Then Tuesday we spend in LA just looking around, and then Wednesday we fly to Vegas and spend the next couple of days there.
be careful out there in LA, man. I'm serious, man. I mean, it's that
You were wonderful.
it's
You
it's
were a
Thank you.
wonderful person. You were awesome.
it's
I hope everyone hearing this story got to take this in like I did.
yeah, and I mean,
your story is off the charts.
Thank you.
and we've discussed it many times.
I honestly
You know,
don't.
I mean,
Don't think it's anything special, but it's.
Oh, it is though, dude. It is. I mean, if you look at it, I mean,
You
think about.
lost the language and
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, if you think about where you were at when you were 31 years old, and think about if all of a sudden everything was erased,
yeah.
and it was just like they're just like wiping the hard drive,
Yeah, every day it's
you know.
like.
And I mean, it's really like that Adam Sandler movie, you know, 50 First Dates, you know. I mean, and honestly, if you reverse the roles in that, that's kind of where your wife was at, because that's what she had to do. She had to do
What's her name?
every day.
My wife's name?
Yes.
It's Alicia.
Alicia, she is awesome. I hope you're listening. You were awesome.
Yeah, I've been telling Ricardo I want to have her on the show and talk to her about it, because I honestly think that her part of the story is just as unique and interesting
my
as
God,
yours,
like,
because
I have no idea how she put up with it.
joke.
because
I
she
would love to hear
I know
her
I would
say.
kill you.
she's got a way with words, doesn't she? Just
I could kill you. Like,
oh my
I
God,
love you so
she's just got a just. You know.
That was good.
but yeah, I mean,
God damn! Now you got another quote of the night. Every time you come here, every time Kristen shows up, she gets a quote of the night.
I'd be like, hey, you've got to be fucking with me right now. You're not seriously reestablishing every moment that we
Oh my
exist
God.
together.
That's awesome.
You know?
but
Yeah,
this was-
I feel
I
like
have no idea.
Your wife is a very patient human.
Yeah, but I have no idea why she left me alone with our son, who at the time was 2. And then she'd go work these 3 different jobs just so we could keep living there. And I had
Because you could just
Yeah.
keep living there.
Yeah.
And she thought he's benign enough.
No, she
that
thought he has a
no,
shot.
wait a minute. She knew you wouldn't do any harm.
Yeah.
She knew you wouldn't do any harm.
Oh.
And no matter what, she said, I can carry this weight, and you can carry this weight, and you will do no harm.
Yeah.
And
That's-
these boys and you will walk out at the end of the day, and I will meet you at the end of the day.
Yeah.
And that's what that meant.
Yeah.
I love it that you said that, Kristen, because that's the way I end the show every time. It's the last thing I say is "do no harm,"
Like,
and that's
seriously.
what so that's
She-
like
she
what's
knew
like
that
the
you
mantra.
she could
Yeah.
trust you with protecting.
Yeah. Even though I had no memory about any of that, it's like, it's
She
crazy.
knew that you would make those individuals walk safely out of the day.
Yeah.
And you could all meet again to do it another day
Yeah.
with no memory.
Pretty cool, huh? Told you.
It's extraordinary. I do it.
He's,
I do it
Ricardo's,
all the
yeah. I
time.
mean, he's it's one of the most amazing stories I've ever heard.
I made a new friend.
Yeah.
Thank you.
No, I mean it's
Was that-
it's an amazing between what he's been through and then the fact that you want to talk about a love story, right? I mean, I'm not a mushy kind of guy, but you want to talk about a love story.
mushy. I
But you
like
want to talk about a love
We're
story right
mushy.
there. I mean, you want to talk about a story about somebody
gosh.
like true love, right? I mean, seriously, that's what got me when we first talked about it. I was like, dude, I said, you have got a hell of you've got a hell of a lady. I was like,
Yeah.
I was like,
Yeah.
because I don't know if I know any lady that would go through that for that period of time.
No, let me say that.
I mean, that's it's really fucking
Says
amazing.
a lot about you, dude.
Yeah, no, but
You gotta bring her roses.
But then you've been, but I mean,
in dirt.
yeah.
It needs to be permanent.
well, and
It doesn't need to be diamonds
Ricardo
some
has
days.
supported
It
her
needs to be
through,
like a solid
her
savings
college and
rate.
everything. I mean, you've
No,
been
but
there. You've been there for her
it's
to go
just-
through her schooling and everything. I mean,
It's
so
just kind of crazy that she had a degree in psychology and then she decided to get a second major It's after she had graduated in speech pathology.
Is your wife available tomorrow night?
What?
Tomorrow night? Your wife
Yeah.
is available?
Do you want to hang
Your
out?
wife is available
Yeah.
tomorrow night.
Well, except that we have the kids at home and no
Your
one.
kids?
Get a babysitter.
Why? You want to meet her? Or?
Yeah.
And your kids and
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why not?
yeah.
I'll check, but yeah.
You can
I am available. I mean, I don't know if my wife is, but I am available. So, I mean, I don't know if that's good enough.
just know that. I would love
But it's
to
a pretty
meet
great.
your
I
wife.
mean, what
I
a
would love to meet your wife.
being-
I would love to meet
I'm not
your
sure.
wife.
Yeah.
I
what
would
an
love
experience,
to meet-
huh? I mean, so I didn't know what we were going to talk about tonight, but
I have no
Ricardo, we talked. Yeah,
But your story,
isn't it? I mean, it's an amazing.
ridiculous.
You know how many
And I'm
people I've told
curious
about this
about-
with Ricardo. I mean, how many people
I'm
have?
not, I'm not one of them.
No, because we haven't talked in a long time.
No,
Well, it's been quite a while.
But I'm
What?
glad I asked.
Well, till the other day, I was pulling in and I was thinking I need to get a hold of Jared. And then all of a sudden, I'm
I
like
know.
pulling
That
back in my
was
dirt
crazy
bike in.
shit right there.
I'm back in my dirt bike in, and I'm thinking I need to
That
call
was
Jared. And then the
shit.
phone rings, and I look, and it's fucking Jared. And I'm like,
Yeah.
what the
He
fucking?
does that weird shit.
We had the same thing happen tonight, didn't we?
Yeah.
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 Yeah, I called you tonight when you were thinking you needed you were going to call me, and I called.
Yeah. Are you going to come down and have a beer with us?
Yeah, well,
And you're
and
like, no, I forgot it. Ricardo.
Yeah.
yeah. So aren't you glad that we didn't end up
Dude.
staying down at the dollar? I mean, what better way to spend the night? Just
No,
I mean,
we got some food in our belly. It wasn't too bad.
yeah. But yeah, anyway, Ricardo's amazing, man. I mean, he's just it's one of those stories that just
That was a good story.
it's well, the thing is too. I mean, he's I mean, you guys are still living it. You're still,
Yeah.
I mean, it's like you made it through such a such a tumultuous and perilous and scary time too. I mean, you had to
Yeah.
have been terrified
Oh
at
my
times,
gosh.
right? I mean, you had to just been absolutely terrified, like going, "What the fuck?
No,
am I gonna fucking
yeah.
be all right? Am I gonna? I mean, what the fuck is gonna happen?"
No, let me say like on our anniversary, which is in July.
What day?
In June, actually. Sorry, it's in June, and then June 27th. And our daughter was born June 29th, so it's like right there. But our anniversary, the first anniversary that I remember, really, it's like
Oh wow.
my wife and I went to Rehoboth
Dude, this
Beach.
is crazy.
Rehoboth Beach in Delaware.
No.
Yep. anyways,
Nothing.
we
But
go.
for you to like not
Delaware
remember an
beaches.
anniversary, and to have like just one that you remember, that is intense.
Yeah, no, I didn't know where we were going. I didn't know why we were going there.
Make a fucking movie about you,
That's what I've said the same thing.
dude.
I mean, it's
So hold on, we arrived there, and my wife is like super excited because she's like, I didn't really think that we were gonna be able to do this ever again, and I was like, okay, and she's like, and I'm just looking at her like, why are you so excited? Why are you? I'm like, I don't get it, and she's like, you're my husband. What didn't you get about that? And I was like, I have no idea what you're talking about.
I could kick you for
Dude,
your wife. I could
Alright,
kick you for your wife.
Dude, did you see me throw down the headphones?
It's something you don't know.
You
Okay,
are
this is about to-
something.
And I swear, I made her cry like 12 times in that trip because it's like each time it's like I just don't remember, and she was like just in the bed just crying, and I was like, "Is there anything I can do to help you?" And she could just look at
You
me
are
and be
such
like,
a gentleman.
so. I mean, and
So hold
You-
on.
when you think
so
about
you laid in bed with this woman, not knowing that was
"Yeah,
your wife.
yeah, exactly." Sometimes I would remember her, sometimes I wouldn't. It's like it depends on the day.
and then his
I would punch you in the jaw. If you remember me. I would punch you in the jaw. You would full out
You-
know
you-
that you remember.
you'd
by
make
the end of that
you'd bring his
day.
memory back through violence.
No, it would be a thing. It would be a thing.
through a concussion. With this concussion, you'll remember.
You honestly did not know what your wife looked like.
No.
Oh my god.
Well, if you give with a concussion,
Some days
it'll all come back.
So you will have a concussion if you don't remember me.
I remember you now.
Just lie. Just lie.
Let me
just
tell you the
lie.
truth. Some days I could remember her, some days I couldn't.
Oh
It's
my
like
God.
crazy.
This is fucking nuts.
It's wild, huh?
Oh my god. You are a rock star.
You would have a Daffy Duck moment.
You're a rock star, dude. I
Thank you.
seriously, like the things that you've gone through, I can't even fathom.
The thing I take away from it, like I said earlier, that I like about the story is the fact that you went through this, and you said you were a pretty materialistic person.
Oh yeah.
You were about making that money. You were about having the nice
you don't
things,
give a
everything
fuck.
in life, and then you went through this experience, and you realized what was actually
you
what
don't
was
give a
important. And I really like that. I mean, that aspect of the whole thing, the fact that it gave you kind of it gave you the reset, but it also gave you a better outlook on what life is about, how precious it is, and what actually matters.
Yeah.
And to me, when I listen to you tell your story, man, that's what I really like that part of it. And then just the whole dynamic between you and your wife and going through all that for those many years and sticking it out with each other, and you're still here. You are still together. You got a beautiful baby girl that you guys just had, and it's like it's just just awesome.
Needs to be shared.
Yeah, no, it does.
Your
I mean,
story needs to be fucking shared. I don't give a damn.
no,
Nothing about money or anything. Like,
No, it's
your
fine.
story is wonderful. It's beautiful.
that's pretty amazing, huh?
And your wife needs like all the condolences in the world.
See, that's my wife.
Oh wow.
Oh,
Jesus.
Yeah, I've been telling Ricardo I want to have her on, guys. I really do. I want to have her. I want to have her on, and just I would really like to talk with her as well. I mean,
That's my baby girl. Yeah.
Aw.
yeah, what a cute little girl, huh? All these kids are.
Alicia?
He's got a beautiful family, man. I mean,
Well, he's a beautiful
Yeah.
soul. Like,
I know, man. I mean, it's just it's like I said, when I met him, I was like, dude, you have a story. And I never even anticipated it being.
we're good at this.
I didn't anticipate though,
We're good at this.
right? But I didn't anticipate what I was going to hear from Ricardo when we first sat down and talked.
No, I don't think
Like-
anybody would.
Because we didn't know each other other than our relationship that we had over the liquor store
it's
counter.
like just quickly like.
Yeah, like, hey, what's up,
Mike.
man? How you
Yeah.
doing tonight? And blah, 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 and then I gave him a card one
You
night.
said it like a sense. Like, this guy's got something.
I just was like, dude, I said, I know you got, I just from talking to him, I was like, I could tell there was, I was like, this dude, first of all, doesn't belong in here and working in this liquor store. I'm like, this guy's there's some other thing going on here. I was like,
funny that you
I don't know what it is, but I wanted to find out what it was. And then we sat down there the first night that we had a conversation on the air, and he told me the story, and I was just like you, Jared. I was just blown the fuck away. I mean, I was just like, holy fuck, are you fucking shitting me? I mean, I was just like, I knew you had something to say.
Yeah.
I just didn't know that it was going to be what it was. I was just like, holy. I mean, I'm still like, I tell people about your story all the time. I mean, people ask about,
You nailed that tonight. In my opinion.
No problem.
Dude, that was so nice to hear.
Well, and you can't, he can't, the thing is too, it's all just from the heart. There's no, with Ricardo, there's no like bullshit with this. It's just like, it's a,
You're legit.
It's really just it's amazing. I'm so happy that he's here. I'm so happy that I met this guy. I mean, I'm fortunate to call him a friend and the Navigator. See, look, I even made him a fucking coaster for his goddamn drinks. See?
Boo.
specific. That's yours.
After I asked him to be the co-host, I made him a fucking coaster.
It says Ricardo.
Yeah. Well, it wouldn't work if it said
Anybody else?
Abraham or something.
Except that last.
I don't even have look what I have for a coaster. It's a fucking piece of rubber off of a vodka bottle that somebody gave me. Look at that. That's how I rate around here.
Except the last 6 months, I haven't been the best co-host because.
Well, things happen, man.
I would agree.
No, I've been taking care of the 3 kids and just
Yeah,
working
yeah.
and just
Well, I'm like, yeah, well, you went to Mexico City. Your mother came back. You guys had everybody in your family had a bout with COVID.
yeah.
I mean,
For fuck's sake.
you know, I mean, you've been through a lot of bullshit. And then you got to work.
But look at that smile.
Then you got to work with John.
Oh my god.
John! Oh, John!
Yeah. Oh,
This is hilarious.
no, it's funny. I was so mad at him last. I'm like, oh great, so I got to go out there to Walmart and I got to deal
This
with
last
John.
night.
I actually got him to laugh last night though.
Oh wow.
I don't remember what I said, but he actually kind of lightened up a little bit. This dude out there this guy is just, you can, I mean, I don't know what I'd have to, I mean, he's got the personality of a piece of shoe leather. I mean,
I do too.
you do?
Shut the fuck
You do not.
No. No. This guy is bad.
You're a fucking
It's
elastic
like,
firecracker.
Yeah.
Elastic firecracker.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
Yeah, that's what you are.
Do you even know elastic fire?
Yeah, I'm looking at one right now. Fucking go out and bang and right back.
No, but
Bang.
John is bad.
Just you know.
That is John. This is bad. John is bad.
Yeah,
Why is
he's-
John bad?
He's not bad.
No, it's just
He just doesn't have a personality.
yeah. He just doesn't.
If you were to take this, if I had a Sharpie in my hand and put a face on my thumb, that would be it. It'd be right here. That'd be if I put a face right there.
John.
Maybe that's what I'm gonna do for my next tattoo. Is I'll tattoo
Yeah.
a face on my thumb. I wonder if it
I
would
feel
stay.
like you need to slow down on the.
Everybody says that. Who cares? It's just a car. Our bodies are just cars. We're just renting them.
That is a true.
We're just renting them. I mean, so who gives a fuck?
Beyond, yeah.
Who cares? I mean, I want to be like Hunter S. Thompson said. I want to fucking come flying into the goddamn return lot with that fucker, slide in sideways, tires falling off, paint job all fucked up, car crashed and shit, and get out of that and fucking dust my hands and go, fuck, that was fun. Yeah, later. On to the next
Glad
one.
You put your doorknobs on wrong.
The door works, doesn't it? I'm glad you keep knocking my poster off.
I'm gonna steal that fucker.
No, you're not.
I know.
Negative red leader. You know how it took me a long time to match all that, to match that frame up, to make that frame like that.
That poster is fucking.
I mean, I had to pick the right piece of wood and everything. I'm gonna start making some more frames. I got so much wood
Yeah.
out there. I'm just gonna start making them, slinging them on Etsy. I started putting a bunch of my photography on there. So if anybody's out there and you want any stock photography, you can check out my site on Etsy.
Suck stick.
Yeah, Shutterstock. I've got a site on Shutterstock, and I'm gonna start putting it on themikefiles.com as well.
Thanks for sharing your story. Dude.
Oh, no problem.
That was fucking gnarly.
Wasn't that great?
That was fucking gnarly.
I'm glad that we decided to do that tonight because we didn't know
Yeah.
what we were going to talk about. I'm glad you got the opportunity to hear Ricardo's story because, you know, we really didn't know what we were going to do. We were
Yeah.
and it was nice to do something other than me just getting fired up about politics.
Yeah.
I kind of thought the same thing.
Yeah.
That was
So it
tough,
was a
but-
good. I keep trying to do that, you know, and I'm not going to lie. I mean, I'm not. I know my faults, and I know where I know that I should do other things. It's just that I get so wound up about.
Yeah.
I get wound up because I hate seeing people being taken advantage of.
Can I say something right quick?
Yes, you can.
The passion that you felt about him the first time you met him, I felt it too.
Yeah. Right.
I was like, tell me your story.
Yeah.
And I was like, I want to hear it. Like, and you want to do politics
So-
and whatnot. And
Well, I just do. Like I said, I do that because it's something that I'm passionate about. It's something that
I'm getting.
we guys shut the door.
Oh, I'm super drunk.
Oh, so if you shut the door, is that gonna?
I can't do
You
this.
can't
I can't do
shut doors?
No.
You can't shut the door.
I'm squat doodle.
Oh.
You guys have fun.
Oh gosh. No, I mean I go into like the other day I did a heading for a show and I was like, today I'm not going to talk about politics.
And then
And I did. It's just I don't like the thing that has always got me about politics, I guess, is that I just don't like people being taken advantage of. It's not that I'm so interested in it per se. It's just that I don't like seeing people get used, abused, and go through life, huh?
Nobody does.
But I see the way that people are living life right now, and it just makes me upset because people shouldn't have to live that way.
Who knows what's right and what's wrong? Like
Well, here's the thing. Here's what I see, and this is my point. And I think that there needs to be a change. I think that we need to go to a resource-based economy.
You have a three-headed monster. Like,
I mean, because there's enough. Think about it, Jared. There's enough in this world for everybody. There shouldn't be kids that are born into abject poverty that don't ever have a chance.
fucking Elon Musk and all those kind of guys. It's
Yeah,
fucking
but that pisses me off too because I mean, okay, they made their money, whatever, but money is the problem. Money is the problem, dude.
Imagine if you had that much money.
I would fucking get rid of every bit of it, and I would make sure there was no homeless people. Instead of spending $44 billion on Twitter, it takes $20 billion to end homelessness in this country. $20 billion. It ends it. It ends it.
The Twitter thing what you just said too. That is bullshit. Why would you spend all that money on fucking
Well, the reason that he did that is because they were sensitive. Okay, let me tell you this. Hold on.
I know where you're gonna go with this.
Okay, so here's the deal. Okay, Twitter has been these sites.
Are we still on?
Yes, we are.
Oh shit.
These social media sites have been censoring people for so long. I've been censored.
Damn it! She took my life.
I've been censored twice. Okay, like I got shut down for a week the first time, and I got shut down for 2 weeks the next time. And all I did. One time I cited a medical study, and the first time I talked about my experience that I had when I got COVID for the first time.
That is true.
And that's it. And I got shut down because I was giving out medical misinformation that turned out to be true information. Okay? So here's what Elon Musk he did. Here's I'm just hang on. So what he did was he went, they shut you down. They and then I'm shadow banned too. So if you're not subscribed to my channel, you're not going to have it come up on your feed. That's why I try and ask everybody to subscribe, because if they don't, then it's not going to come up on their feed and nobody's going to see the show. So they try to keep you shut down.
This show's actually going to be good.
So what Elon did is he bought 9.2% of Twitter, right? Was what they had available in stock. So that made him the majority stockholder. And then he turned around after he had the majority of the stock, and the stock started going up because he was obviously the majority stockholder, and anything Elon Musk touches turns to gold. And so he turns around and makes him an offer. He says, I'll give you $54.20 per share, and I want to buy the whole thing for $44 billion. And they had no choice. See, he played this just right, because if they said no, he dumps the 9.2% and the stock fucking tanks. So they had no choice. They either if they say no, then he dumps the stock. If they say no and they dump the stock, then he buys it back. He buys it back at for fractions of a dollar. And so either way, and so now he's realized that there's so many bots out there on Twitter, and he's realized that the value of the $44 billion, his offer is not really worth that much because there's so many bots. So anyway, so that's where he's at right now. He's on hold, but what he wants to do is just make that a platform where people can actually say what they want to say. It's the First Amendment. It's freedom of speech. And he's sick of people being shut down. I'm sick of being shut down. I want to be able to say what I want to say. And it sucks because there's so many hosts and on these different podcasts, different YouTube shows, and everybody has to watch what they say, because if you say something that is going to piss them off, then they shut you down. And if they don't like what you're saying, then you don't have a voice anymore. And that's happened to me already in this short time that I've been doing this. It's happened to me. And you watch some of these people and they can't say, like BCP, he's got his own website.
Dude, I can't smoke weed in here.
No. Well, Jesus Christ. What do you want me to do?
I don't smoke weed.
No, nobody does. Nobody does. We're in California. Go ahead.
Shit, let me get this out of the way.
Yeah, we're just go talk amongst yourselves. Anyway, we're going to shut it down. Let's shut it down. That's enough. That's enough. That's enough of this garbage. From 52 miles east of Yellowstone Park, with the Navigator, Ricardo Torres, and myself, your gracious host. This is the Mike Files. Be good at it. And all things be kind and do no harm. And we're going to take you out with some Tom McDonald.
Awesome.
The song is called The System. And just a minute, let me get the slides up. So I know we got a weird camera angle tonight, but hey, I think it was a funny conversation.
Oh, yeah.
I think we had a good time. And here we go.
Welcome to the world, baby boy. I'll paint you red and white and blue. The indoctrination starts as soon as you come out the womb. Pretty quick, we'll make you stupid with curriculums at school. And if the classroom doesn't do the trick, we'll make you watch the news. Pick your team, right or left, take the red pill or the blue. You can vote, but even if you win, still everyone will lose. Don't forget to buy designer because Gucci makes you cool. We prioritize material belongings over truth. Get a job that you can't stand so you can buy some cans of food. Go overseas and die for freedom. There's some oil we can use. Our democracy exists so that you think that you can choose. But our algorithms make you do what we want you to do. What's the problem? Your depressed society has you confused. We got medication for you that you'll probably abuse. Go get married to a lady who also don't have a clue and pump out a few babies that are just the same as you. Welcome to the system, everyone's a victim. Doesn't matter if you're black or white, it hates you all. Here inside the system, violence is a symptom. Fighting for what's right, but somehow everyone is wrong. Welcome to the system, everyone's a victim. Doesn't matter if you're black or white, it hates you all. Here inside the system, violence is a symptom. Fighting for what's right, but somehow everyone is wrong. Welcome to the world, baby girl. I'll paint you pink if that's okay. We'll encourage self-destruction through the music that you play. We divided out of men by trying politics and race, and honestly, it's working awesome, so for you, we'll do the same. Never teaching you to love yourself, inject you full of hate, objectify your sexuality, then blame you for the rape, and weaponize the differences that make our men and women great. Then just to screw with you, erase the genders. Everyone's the same. We'll empower you with rights to vote and fight for equal pay, then have the men turn into women and you'll fight for them again. But you thought you had it figured out, but everything has changed. Welcome to the system. Please enjoy your stay. Here's a Bible and a bottle of the cheapest booze we make. Find a man who can take care of you to fill the holes we made. Buy a house and settle down, fulfill your duty, procreate, and make a couple babies who will also do the same. Welcome to the system, everyone's a victim. Doesn't matter if you're black or white, it hates you all. Here inside the system, violence is a symptom. Fighting for what's right, but somehow everyone is wrong. Welcome to the system, everyone's a victim. Doesn't matter if you're black or white, it hates you all.